Anyways, how many of you guys, when you hear of the gospel and you read it even in the Bible, it's always talked about good news. How many of you guys have ever got like some serious good news that you're waiting for, like a job or something, or maybe you heard that you're having a kid, or all this stuff, or how many of you women in here are married and it was like good news when your husband asked you to marry him, you know? Maybe some of you, like maybe not, or what? I'm so funny. I just appreciate you laughing. That wasn't even a joke. So anyways, so whenever you hear like good news, it's supposed to be good news. So when the Bible talks about how the gospel of Jesus Christ, how it is supposed to be good news, like it should be something to get excited about. In Proverbs, it actually talks about, man, good news from a far off land is almost like a cup of water. It's refreshing, okay? And what's crazy is every time in the Bible when it talks about, Jesus even talks and he goes, when he's talking to the Samaritan woman at the well, she's sitting there and she's getting water and he goes, I have water that you don't know of. I have water that if you drink of it, you'll never be thirsty again. And she's like, oh, how do I get this water? And all this different stuff. And almost every time that you see, even in the Bible, and it's like prophetic, every time that you see something about a river, something about how he's the running water, he's this, way, truth, and life, it's every time it's like a flowing water, a flowing river, and that's who Jesus is. And it's almost like that good news. Have you heard of this? If you live a righteous life, and if you have Christ in your life, it's almost like you'll be planted, it says in Isaiah, as an oak tree, planted by streams of living water. Yeah. So, what I'm getting at is, we should have a good news. We should be so excited. What I want to talk to you guys about is the excitement of knowing God. The excitement about it. Like, how many of you guys know, like, man, I'm going to heaven, I should be excited. But the problem is so many people don't realize that. The problem is that so many people don't even have a real relationship with Jesus, but they're claiming it. So many people claim to be Christians, and it bugs me in a righteous way, so it's okay to do that. But so many people claim to have a relationship with God, and their life doesn't look exciting. Actually, a lot of people, a lot of Christians, a lot of people that go to church say that they have this great relationship, all this stuff, everything. A lot of them are more depressed, and they get into this legalism. They have to, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. I have to do this to get into heaven, and it's just like, man, God is not a taskmaster. Just like Elena was saying, no, He came, He wants to encounter you, He wants to have a relationship with you. All throughout the Bible, whenever you see stuff, He goes, man, I'm the bridegroom, you're the bride. How many brides, if you were brides in here, if your husband was just like, hey, you're doing this, you're making me food, you're making that relationship would not go well, right? Mm-hmm. No, and it's not good. God isn't like that. So it's good news, good news. It should be very exciting. I was thinking even about... all kinds of stuff. I have so much going on right now. So, good news. It should be excited. We were talking to... We went to paintball camp this past week, and we were speaking and stuff. And it's so sad because so many people don't have that real relationship with God. And they're not excited about it. Like if Jesus came in here right now and He was here in flesh form, like we would all be freaking out, okay? If He was sitting there and He was healing people, we'd be freaking out. If He was casting demons out of people, we'd be freaking out, right? Wouldn't we? We'd be freaking out. We'd be like, oh, it's Jesus. You want to know something that's crazy? He's here. Yeah. We don't get freaked out. He's here. We can have Him. We can have Him in our life, but it's like we don't want Him. And it comes down to, man, what do you believe? And I was even thinking about that. In Jeremiah... I love Jeremiah. In Jeremiah, right off the bat, it says, we're getting back to the water. Remember when I was talking to you about water? God uses water a lot to explain His Spirit, the Spirit of God. In Jeremiah 2, verse 13, God says, for my people have done two evil things. They have abandoned me, the fountain of living water, and they have dug for themselves cracked cisterns that can't hold any water. So what is Jeremiah saying? What is God saying this? And he goes, my people have done two evil things. They have abandoned me, the living water, the truth, the whole reason why I even created you. You weren't just created just to live 90 years and die, like Elena was saying. You weren't just created just to come here, have fun, have a few kids, play golf, do all this stuff, no, and then die. That'd be boring. No, first and foremost, if you're really going to have a joyful life, if you're going to be happy, if you're not going to be depressed, all this stuff, no, you first need to realize that you're made first for God. To have a real relationship with God, not to be afraid. Yes, we have reverence, we have fear of the Lord, but at the same time, we have a relationship. And God's saying, if you don't have that kind of relationship, if I'm not real to you, if I'm just this thing that you just pray to, and just hope that I don't throw lightning bolts at you or something weird, if you don't have that, it's like, man, you don't have this fountain of living water. You aren't even living. And then when he says, so that's the first thing. They've abandoned me, the fountain of living water. The second thing that they've done is that they tried to make up for that abandonment. They try to dig these cisterns, and all a cistern is not even a well. A well goes way down into the earth, and it's like there's water down there. A cistern is like this huge cup, like just this giant cup that they just dig a hole and put water in it. And it's not sterile. I mean, bugs get in. So here we are. We have God. He's the whole reason why He created us. It's love. We're all looking for love in the wrong places when it's supposed to be over here. That's why a lot of relationships don't work out. So here is God, and it's like, I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go to church. I'm going to dig this little cup in the ground, and instead of actually having a joyful life, a joyful marriage, understanding why I was created, I'm going to sit here, be frustrated, and try to figure out why I'm created. I'm going to sit here and try to figure out why this relationship isn't going out. I'm going to sit here in legalism, and I'm going to try to impress God. I'm going to try to pray more. I'm going to try to do all this stuff just to make Him notice me. And God's saying, no, there's a problem with that. And how many of you guys have been hurt by, I don't just want to say Christians, just by religious people? Religion is a huge thing. What's nuts is when He left and He sits there and He builds the church and tells Peter and all this stuff, He didn't say, okay, now branch out and make all these different denominations. Mm-hmm. Go do that. Go do that. It's going to be great. You guys are going to get along. It's going to be awesome. You guys can think about speaking in tongues. You guys believe in healing. You guys don't believe in healing. Believe in demons. Don't believe in demons. No. Denomination is not biblical. It means divided nation. Why would God want His people to be divided nations all over the place? No, and that's where we messed it up. All this different stuff. And I was thinking about it. So many people have been hurt by Christians because they're not truly Christians. Because I'll tell you right now, if you met a real Christian, if you met a real biblical Christian, you'd think like, man, what is that guy on? You're like, he must be on drugs, he is so excited. He must know some good news. Well, duh, yeah, I do know some good news. And it's sad because so many people even get frustrated and they become missionaries and they go to other countries because they're sick and tired of this just ritual. You know what I mean? And it's not like a relationship. I can be in a relationship with somebody and it's real. You know, we can see it, we can touch it. But when it gets to God, it's like the one that we're supposed to have a relationship with the most, it gets all weird. Mm. You know what I mean? And I was just thinking about that. It's like so many people have been hurt by church, been hurt by all these different things. And it's like, man, God doesn't want that at all. A lot of people in the world, it's not just America, a lot of people in the world, a lot of people don't believe in Jesus. Because a lot of people who say that they believe in Jesus don't believe in Jesus. Does that make sense? Yeah. A lot of people don't believe in miracles because there's Christians who say that they're Christians who say that they believe everything in this Bible, but they're not walking around healing people. They're not casting demons out of people. Can I tell you right now, I don't care, you can hang out with me, maybe, I don't know, go work out with me or something, maybe you'll see a demon get cast out of somebody. Can I tell you that it's real? Yeah. It is so real. And that's why I get so frustrated. And it hurts because I'm sitting here and every single Monday night we have people come over to our house and they're not here to hear me preach. They're not here to do this. The biggest part about tonight is when we turn on the lights and we start praying for people. Yeah. When people start getting healed. When people their legs start moving. When demons get cast out of people. If somebody starts manifesting tonight, we don't just cast out the demons here. We actually make an appointment so you guys won't freak out. But hey, maybe you'll see somebody manifest. Anyways, what you need to realize is that God is real. This Bible is real. Jesus is real, and He wants to meet you. But the problem is that we're sitting here and we're thinking that we're in the fullness. Jesus came to give us an abundant life, yes. And we're sitting here in a tiny little life, and it's like, oh, it's so fun. And we're wondering why things aren't working out. We're wondering why we're stressed. We're wondering why when we were praying for people aren't getting healed. Or we're sitting there and it's like, oh God. And half the time I feel like God's sitting over here in heaven going, you're a joke. I love you. I have this plan for you, but you're not taking me seriously. I got this crazy revelation. Parents can love their kids you can love your kids unconditionally. They can be in prison, all of a sudden you can love them unconditionally. But nothing's going to happen unless that kid receives that love. How crazy is that? Because I can sit here, my parents could love me, I could be in the world, I could be doing this, I could be having sex, I could be doing drugs, all this stuff. But man, it's not until I sit there and I realize, like, wow, my parents love me unconditionally. And actually realizing and get that revelation. I want you to get this revelation tonight, that there is a real God who really loves you, and He just didn't create you to live in 2012 just to sit here and just and just skate through life, wondering why you're depressed, wondering why isn't this happening? And He's going, man, a lot of it's happening because you're not really believing in me. In Romans, Paul talks about it. He says, he goes, in order to have an eternal life, this is what we pray, this little sinner's prayer. And we ask Jesus to come into our heart and make a little house that's weird. It is. Like, just say this prayer, say this quick prayer, just accept Him, and then everything